What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 11 of season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. We'll be talking full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've had a chance to watch this episode. We'll do a real quick recap, and I'm going to kind of feel through because there's a lot of little details that happened, specifically in the fight that happened in this episode that we'll talk about in the review. But basically, Reggie is pulled into Megumi's domain expansion. They go at it. Reggie uses an ability that he thinks is going to help him with the one-hit...
Wicker basket,
one-hit rule, but ends up not helping him. They get into a weight war. Basically, Reggie's like pulling out cars and putting it into Megumi's shadow. It's weighing down Megumi and crushing him, but he's resisting. Megumi summons Elephant to crush Reggie. And that's all happening. And then Reggie ends up going into the shadow. He uses a car to come back out of the shadow while Megumi's still being crushed. He brings out a house to crush him further. Megumi opts out of the domain expansion and basically tries to like drown him underwater.
While still having the weight of the two cars.
Because he still has the weight of the two cars. Eventually, they go at it. Until they're fighting hand to hand. Megumi lies to him, saying he's incapable of using his Shikigamis, and then eventually lying about it, which I would have done as well. His wolf jumps in and pretty gnarly rips a huge chunk out of Reggie. Reggie is bleeding on the ground. He ends up giving Megumi his points until he dies. And then he also gets points for the death. And then after that, we jump forward to, I forgot the guy's name. I have some notes here. I'm not going to look through them. Hazunoki, who's fighting, what's his name? Takaba, the comedian?
Oh, yeah.
And they've just been going at it this whole time. And he just can't kill Takaba for some reason.
Barely hurting him.
Yeah. And Takaba's just kind of like fucking around with him. He finds out that Reggie has died, and he's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So he goes to walk off, and Takaba is trying to get his points from him. Also telling him he should go take a shower and clean up or whatever. We find out in this moment that he is actually super powerful, which I kind of got the gist of that already, but like Gojo level powerful. Basically, he can manifest anything that he thinks would be like
funny.
Yeah,
he has the power of imagination.
He's basically orcs in Warhammer. They just don't know that they're capable of doing this, and that's him. He just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's just like, this would be funny, and then it happens, and he's like, all right, cool, everything's kind of going my way. So it's kind of ridiculous. I want to talk about it a little further. And then Megumi pursues the girl from earlier. I forgot her name as well. Yeah. But a voice tells him to not kill her.
His sister's voice.
His sister. Well, I was leaving Feg.
Oh.
But and then he ends up walking off, collapsing. We find out it's a sister, and then mysterious new player.
The angel that they're looking for.
The angel shows up, and that kind of ends the episode. So a lot of layers to this episode. What do we think of it?
We also got the beginnings of what's happening in Sendai.
Oh yeah. Completely skipped that. So yeah, it showed some new people over there.
The four strongest members that are, because I guess Sendai popped off a lot more extreme than it did in Tokyo, and
got the guy with the cannon hair or whatever, some old dude.
Someone who can control the sky.
Yeah.
A special grade curse that's a cockroach. And then an old guy who controls two Shikigami at the same time.
People who seem a lot more interesting than the people over here, except for Reggie Star's pretty interesting. But everybody else kind of not really.
And then, that basically just kind of sets us up for where we're going next. So.
Yeah, because Yuta kills one of
the pillars.
Yeah. So... that's where we're going with that. Pretty interesting. What do we think?
I mean, it was a good episode, but this is like the third time we've had to watch an episode twice or something like that.
Well, to be transparent, if we're going to talk about that, so we watched it when it first came out. Mm-hmm. I was tired of shit because this whole last week I've been waking up at like 8 a.m. and I'm up late all the time. So anyway, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. We watched it. It was cool to see visually, but I'm like, I feel like I missed a lot here. And you also missed a lot there. Yeah. So I was just like, we should probably watch it a second time. So we watched it a second time, and it did us a huge fucking favor because I was able to interpret the episode way better than before. So yeah, I'm glad we did, especially because there's some fight scenes that are happening while they're talking, and you have to kind of pick and choose reading and watching what's happening in the fight scene at the same time. Unless you speak Japanese, I'm sure it's great. But
yeah, or you're watching the dub.
But watching a second time allowed me to take more in from that because I got a gist last time of what's being said. So yeah, watching a second time was definitely beneficial. Anyway,
and one just kind of speaking of the explanation during the domain expansion part, I think part of the problem there too is they start explaining the domain expansion and then they start comparing it to something that Gojo did in the past, and then they finish talking about the domain expansion. And so there was like this section which I don't think we needed technically. I didn't really need the example of Gojo's thing. We did that already. So.
There's also a part too where the bottom was describing something and then the top had subtitles, and I'm like, bro, I only can look so many places.
So yeah, a second watch was definitely super helpful because I was able to mostly focus on what she was saying this time. And I was more mentally equipped this time as well. So pretty cool. It was interesting to see someone not use like, you know, a finished domain. That's the first time I think that we've seen an incomplete one. And
unless we have, let us know.
Yeah, and then just the amount of circumstances it took for that to happen. He needed to use the gymnasium as basically a conduit to finish off his domain and close it in because he's not capable of doing that on his own yet, and he doesn't have the instant kill part. He kind of put that aside, but instead now it's basically acting as just a buff for his inherent abilities, which threw Reggie off because Reggie was like expecting like, you know, the same as like most people who would even use a domain expansion, which is, you know, someone who's perfected it, right? And then that whole fight was interesting. It's a weird one though because it was a basically ended up turning into a game of chicken.
That fight was really fucking hard to interpret when I was like really tired.
Yeah,
I remember watching. I was like sitting there, and I wasn't dozing because like I was bored of the episode, but just so fucking tired. But I was sitting there watching. I was like, what is happening? Why? Like, this is so trippy. But then watch a second, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes way more sense.
Yeah, it's not a very conventional fight.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's literally chicken. Like they're both just doing kind of the same thing to each other to see who would break first.
Yeah, and
Reggie kind of broke Megumi. He had to leave the domain. So
well, he wasn't going to be able to absorb a house. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, he still had a trick up his sleeve, but
well,
it's interesting
like,
that Reggie was kind of no bullshit. Like
smart dude.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Just a little too cocky.
Yeah, though we get that small hint when he some of his receipts get wet and he's talking to himself mentally. He's like, some of my receipts have gotten wet. I can't use these ones. And then Megumi figured that out. And then so the pool basically ruined all of his receipts until they dried out. Of course, he didn't admit that, just like Megumi didn't admit he could use any more Shikigami. And Reggie foolishly believed him, which led to his demise. So again, just a lot of mental gymnastics, you know, in this fight. It was interesting. And then, you know, him basically
it's a good example,
kind of being honorable and giving him the points before he left.
Yeah, and he makes a kind of a little joke about that, going like, "This is my last good deed." Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Anyway,
the wet receipts and then the
I just gotta say that Reggie's got to live that Ranma life.
Yeah.
Try not to get wet.
Yeah, and then him going after the girl with the weird like scorpion tail thing. Oh.
No. One thing I was going to say is this fight was interesting because is an interesting contrast between what we get with like, you know, a sorcerer, you know, like Yuji,
who's melee focused,
and like that combat element, whereas this is like two dudes. And we said this in the last reveal a little bit already, but like this one really showed it off, that like the mind games of like trying to outplay your opponent with your abilities. I mean, they did fight hand to hand a couple times, which was pretty cool to see. But like, it was just interesting. The whole weight game of the fight was just like trying to outplay each other in that regard.
Yeah.
Because the whole time Megumi's like, they're equating it to like G's in a jet, and
people pass out like 2 point something, and he was basically holding on to 40
because he was using his powers to do that or whatever and keep himself low. But it was just an interesting. Like, he wasn't having fun. He wasn't easily doing that. So, Anyway.
Yeah, and he was forcing himself to stay conscious. I mean, ultimately, after, you know, he opted not to kill the scorpion tail girl, passed out. So, like, he was, exhausted, I'm sure.
He had a rough time.
Then our comedian guy, who
I fucking love.
don't want to say too much, but has a lot of parallels to someone in a very popular shonen about pirates.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah. Really interesting. And it's funny how you could compare him to the orcs. And then, I compare him to someone in One Piece, basically, who just has the ability of imagination, basically. But he just doesn't know that. And so he's just existing. And because he just cares about being funny all the time, is surviving with no problem, but also kind of, to my knowledge, has not really a goal going on. Mm-hmm. So, funny character. I hope we see more of him, obviously. I believe it'll be next year for the next part of the season, but whenever that happens. So,
yeah, I hope he sticks around.
Yeah. Well, and especially because he's in the intro a lot compared to a lot of the other characters. So.
Yeah, I was waiting for him, and now he shows up, and I'm like, okay, so where are we going with this guy? Because right now he's just kind of like there.
Yeah. And then, their person they've been looking for just showing up. Convenient that the angel's there. I don't know if they'll be there still when Megumi wakes up. That'll be a different story, but that's the person they need to open the back door to Gojo's prison. So kind of funny that they, I don't know if it's a he or not, but showed up. And then the Sendai part, all those characters are very unique looking. Definitely have more like main villain energy than some of the people we've had in the Tokyo part. So looking forward to seeing them whenever we get around to that, and what kind of abilities they have. But yeah,
there's a whole different vibe in that area compared to this area. Everyone here's kind of a goofball. Over there, everybody looks like a fucking villain or somebody from JoJo.
A little bit, yeah.
That guy with the cannon pompadour.
Yeah.
This episode was good. Watching it twice, you get a lot out of it if you do that. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. The first time I was just really confused, and I was like, I gotta go to bed right after we watched, because I was like, I don't get what I saw. But yeah, the fight was really cool, especially when it was like understandable and interpretable. I liked the whole playing chicken thing. I thought the fight scene where they fought before the guy got was done really well. The animation, of course, was done really well. Also, a couple scenes I thought are done really well was when he was sinking the first time, and he was describing, which was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Describing that there was no like buoyancy, there's no resistance. He's not in water. So like he's in like zero gravity basically, but he was falling. So like there's nothing for him to do except for and there's no air.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's fucking nightmarish. So it's definitely a place you don't want to go. Luckily, he had one of many trump cards to get the hell out of that. The guy was really tricky. Too bad he was...
what an OP ability, man.
Yeah. He for how goofy he was, and just pulling out a bunch of like houses and all sorts of just common things. He had a lot of techniques in his head, so the guy was definitely not stupid. But that scene was really cool. Just like watching him sink and describe them, like, that is terrifying. And then also when he was dying, I thought the way they did that scene was really cool, because it's something I don't think you would have gotten in the manga, correct me if I'm wrong, but like watching the blood pool slowly as he was talking was a really cool visual. You'll saw in the pool as well, but I thought the way that was handled was really neat, that he was dying slowly but still discussing, like even referring to Megumi as like, you've killed me, basically. Like, I was like, this scene's pretty brutal. Definitely was like a cool end of the fight scene that I hesitate to say enjoyed, but from a cinematic point of view, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool looking, the way they did that. It was
well put together.
Yeah. And then let's see, the Takaba scene with that guy who just basically was just like, I give up, I'm out of here. Like the guy I'm here with.
Him, man.
Well, yeah, because he's. I think it's funny that we cut back to them and he's just like blowing the building up, and like Takaba's up in the room, like he's like drinking tea or something. I don't remember.
He was chilling.
Yeah, he was just hanging out. Well, it's so stupid. And then he just comes running out the window, dressed in one way, and then he's dressed back in his suit. I'm just like, this is fucking, this guy's Looney Tunes.
And covered in sauce.
Yeah, which is gross. The guy like touches him. And he's like, "Are you covered in grease or something? Lotion?" And he's just like, "Is this sauce?"
He said it could be sauce.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it is sauce.
Yeah, and he starts freaking out, and then he tells him to go take a shower. I'm just like, what the hell is happening? And then, the scene where he just looks really menacing, the weird face he's making, and it's describing that he's like on par with Gojo when it comes to like power, like he could be basically. His level, and I'm just like, that's terrifying. The only thing that's stopping him from, being a complete menace is that he's just doing his own thing.
I mean, yeah, dude, literally, the way they vaguely described it could just go, it'd be funny if this guy died, and then that person would die.
It'd be funny if the planet exploded.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of power there. So it just reminds me of orcs in Warhammer. From what I know of them, they can just do whatever, but they're too stupid to understand what they're doing. So, like, this is a gun, and then it just works as one. So, yeah, that's hilarious and terrifying at the same time. And then, the end, him chasing that girl, which I was just like, are you really going to just murk this chick? Like, I get she sucks, but, like, at the same time, like, just move on.
He also, warned her, multiple times to go away.
Sure, yeah. And she is a menace or whatever, but, like, definitely annoying. But I was like, in the scene, I was like, are you just going to murder this chick? But, then his sister communicates with him, which I thought was really interesting. We haven't really seen that. Yeah. And then the angel that they're looking for shows up, and that's interesting as well. I'm hoping before the season ends we get something from that. I'm sure we will.
We'll see.
Because we have, one more episode?
One more.
Yeah, so, and this episode kind of felt like an end episode because it was like showing these dudes like a cliffhanger. Like, this is what's happening over here, and here's Yuta. Yeah. And it's like, okay, you could end the season there, but...
Well, and then, like I said earlier, the second half isn't probably going to happen until next year because they were ready to make it, but there's no TV slots available. So they have to wait. Yeah,
well, I believe they're ready to make it. I was talking with somebody about this already and saying, like, they'll get this out as soon as they can because the show is so popular and they've been just getting it out at a steady clip. So, unlike Free Run, which we've talked about in our other review. Yeah, episode was cool, though. I really appreciated watching a second time because I felt like I just did not get as much out of it the first time around. So, really dense episode in terms of like the layers of what's happening in the fight. But in retrospect, I appreciate the person who wrote this story's mind because there's so many times throughout this show that I've just gone like, that's crazy. That this made something that happened in the last season make more sense, or like there's so much like foreshadowing, like it's just the show's just a little deeper than you expect from typical shows like this. So, and it's really funny too as we're doing reviews of Free Run and doing reviews of this at the same time. What I have to take in and remember with Free Run's so much easier because it's just such more of like a chill show, fun show. It's got its drama and all that stuff, but like, and then this show, it's just like I feel like I gotta get like a notebook and be like, what the fuck is gonna happen here, and where's this leading, and who's this guy, and why? What are they describing? Who's this lady's describing this guy's power? Okay, but I appreciate it. I like that it has some depth to it. So, yeah, overall, enjoy the episode. Can't wait to see the next episode and see where things go. I have no idea, so please don't let us know if you do know. But if you don't know and you're curious and you're like thinking about it, where do you think things are going to go? And yeah, do you got anything else? No. Let us know in the comments what you think about this episode, favorite parts, least favorite parts, if you have any. And if you want to speculate on where things are going, let us know there as well. Just don't spoil anything, please. Although I was in a Barnes & Noble and I saw the case of, or the cover of Volume, thank you. Volume 29. I was like, I shouldn't see that. And I turned the book around because there's just face down. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Because we're on like, I think Volume 19 right now.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, I asked a coworker how many more seasons he thinks, and he was speculating 1.5, maybe 2 more, depending on how long they make some of the episodes, I guess.
Sure, so, I'm just where we're at exactly right now because I looked at them. I was like, oh, okay, we're at volume 19 right now. There's 10 more volumes at least in the United States. I don't know about it anywhere else. Anyway, I'm rambling.
It's over. So,
but it's over.
It's done.
Oh, okay, cool. So. We'll get there when we get there. They'll probably do at least 2 seasons. They're not going to do 1 more.
Well, yeah, he was saying content-wise, it's like going to be like 1.5 because we just watched half a season just now.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
At least. So.
But yeah, let us know anything we didn't cover from this episode. Let's talk about in the comments, and recommendations. Of course, we're watching this. We're watching Free Run. We're watching Trigun. We're watching Hell's Paradise season 2. So if you have something else you think we should watch, let us know. We'll take it into consideration. Can't guarantee we'll watch it though. I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Until the next review, we'll talk to you guys later.